we're able to encompass profit, not the other way around. And that's also true with the Mencian idea about the way of the king, establish kingship, and the way of the hegemon, studying hegemonic control. But to be hegemonic is difficult to achieve. You have to have wealth, you have to have power, you have to have military strength. Also, you have to have a very large territorial control of the environment. And the simple notion is the hegemonic idea is to use humanity and rightness as a pretext for trying to attract other people to be part of it. Now we know many scholars like Joe and I talk about soft power, not just military hard power. You have to have soft power. The idea is if America is going to continue to be a superpower, it's not enough to be militarily strong or economically strong. We have to be culturally significant. That's the soft power. But again, it is based upon our ability to connect meaningfully to a larger world. If we cannot go beyond our self-interest, we cannot be really superpower from the classical Confucian idea of becoming hegemonic control. But kingship is not based upon your military might or your economic strength or your territorial control, not even your soft power. It is the quality of life that allows your people not only to feel comfortable, security, not to feel basically their well-being is protected, so there are no homeless, the people who have their livelihood, of course, some rich, some poor, but every human being is able to live, and hopefully some people become prosperous. And all of them are properly educated. The education, again, is moral education. Education in acquiring information, skills are absolutely necessary, taken for granted. But the key is moral education. They're all, in a way, cause for meaning. Is it possible for us to imagine such a society in the world today? Some people say Switzerland. Switzerland didn't even allow their women to vote until 1970s. So Switzerland is very male-oriented. Switzerland also is very authoritarian. Women in their 70s couldn't purchase a piano or a refrigerator unless their husbands signed the approval. So that's not egalitarian. May be great for human flourishing if you happen to be a man, and also well-positioned and well-powered. Women will be relegated to the background. So you can imagine a society that is really not necessarily a manifestation of the Confucian idea of the benevolent state, but comes close. Can you imagine any society?
Bhutan.
Bhutan?
The happiness index.
Wait. Happiness index is an extremely good judge. I think American happiness index is very low. China is even lower. The higher, let's say, happiness index is in India. Even those people who are begging for food, and they're happy. They're happy in the sense they are situated in their own tradition. You know, if you go to India, people come to ask for food, ask for money, a lot of them. If you just say no, they'll just go away. And there's no sense, if you look at their eyes, there's no sense of resentment. So I think maybe Costa Rica. Have you ever been to Costa Rica? The two presidents, terrific presidents, decided to get rid of army. There's no army, only policemen. The policemen never carried a gun, normally a stick, like the British policemen. The British policemen fail, and you're in trouble. But this place, one of the presidents got the Nobel Prize for Peace. But anyway, I haven't been there. After I've been there, I think I'll be in trouble, I guess. But United Nations established University of Peace in Costa Rica. So, but I don't think it's necessarily a benevolent, sort of benevolent government, but it comes close. That's the only one. All the major societies, I think Switzerland, notwithstanding, but if you say Sweden, Norway, or Denmark, these Nordic countries are very, very compatible. There are virtually no poor people there. But all socialist countries, and they charge the tax rate is so high. Right now it's about 70%. So if you're not rich, you're not going to survive in those countries. And then the important feature is the difference between civilized and uncivilized. Civilized is a country that takes culture absolutely seriously, based on the relationships and so forth. You know, all these are under the general philosophical idea of human nature. You know, I argue the case, I'm not going to do it. Don't misunderstand Mencius' idea of human nature as good, meaning that we human beings are good, therefore we don't have to do anything if we're good. That's a major misunderstanding of Mencius. Now, Mencius' idea is innate moral sense. This innate moral sense needs to be cultivated. It's like the fire about to burn and the water about to flow. It's extremely weak, you know, like a sprout, and it can be very easily destroyed with no external conditions to support. And so this notion of being good in a realistic sense is painfully difficult. You have to really work at it. And you don't work at it as an individual. You work at it in, try to learn from teachers, from friends, from the community as a whole. If the community is very abusive, very brutal, then it's extremely difficult for anyone to be good. If the community is congenial to human flourishing, the situation is better. So this notion about being human is to say every human being can become fully human through self-effort, not based upon certain kind of transcendent God who's compassionate and help us, not based upon the forces of the society from outside, not even based upon, I mean in the essential sense, all these of course important, the essential sense not based upon the loving care of your parents. They all help, but the key for you to realize yourself is your inner resources. That's the reason why learning is for the sake of the self, not for anyone else, not for your parents, not for society, not for your career, not for the government, not even for heaven. And you do it yourself. Almost, the Kantian notions is close. That your freedom to develop yourself in your rationality is not relied upon anything else. That's why it's autonomous morality through self-cultivation. And of course, self-cultivation is related to the great learning. It's the root of everyone, from the emperor to the commoner. And there's no way you can imagine a situation where self-cultivation is no longer relevant. So long we are humans, we're involved in self-cultivation to grow. And otherwise we cannot even grow up. And that self-cultivation is rooted in our everyday existence. Our body, our family, our community, earth, they're all connected. That's our proper home. So our body is our proper home rather than the prison house of the soul. And if we make our body healthy, then our heart and mind will be purified. And so I mentioned before, I just want to repeat, the body is not something we own. The body is not given. The body has to be cultivated. We learn to become our body. Also, we learn in order to allow our bodies to become integral part of ourselves. And that's true with our family. That's true with Earth. So there's no notion the Earth is mundane. The Earth is the red dust. The Earth is, in a serious way, sacred. That's the only home we have.